Sematary. It's directed by Mary Lambert and it's based on Stephen King's 1983 novel of the same name. And it begins with the Creed family moving to a rural household in Ludlow, Maine. And it was actually filmed in Maine. This is one of the actual first Stephen King movies that was filmed on location in Maine. And the family consists of Dr. Lewis Creed, who is a twat, his wife Rachel, their young daughter Ellie, and their toddler son Gage, who I mainly know a lot about because I listened to the Ice Nine Kills song Funeral Derangements, and it is a lot of fun. Go check out that song. But they're accompanied by their cat, Winston Churchill, which is shortened to Church for this movie, and shortly after moving in, they befriend their elderly neighbour Judd, who warns them about the dangers of the busy road in the front of their house, and often frequented by speeding trucks. Not that that'll do anything. And yeah, Judd then takes the family on a tour of the nearby woods, leading them to a pet cemetery, where local children bury the deceased pets, and the cemetery is marked by a sign which misspelled the word cemetery, and Judd hints at the place having a bit of an eerie atmosphere, but he doesn't really elaborate on that. He's just a bit dumb there, not telling them. So Lewis, who's a doctor, begins his new job at the University of Maine. And on his first day, he encounters Victor Pascal, a student who's been fatally injured in a car accident. And before dying, he mysteriously warns Lewis about the pet cemetery, mentioning that the ground beyond it is sour. And one day, Church is found dead by the side of the road. He was hit by a truck, and, you know, this guy knows how devastated his daughter would be because she'd literally had a dream about the cat dying. I was about to say dog, but they don't have a dog. Maybe they can get a dog next. And Judd suggests that Lewis bury Church in the ancient burial ground beyond Pet Cemetery. Now, this is my first thing which really annoyed me, because after they've already buried the bloody cat and they're having some drinks, he tells him that his dog was buried there and it came back all aggressive and stuff. Why are you still telling to bury it? Why not just get a cat that looks like it? Okay? Sure, it may not act the same. You could just say that it's getting old. But yeah, so one day Church is found dead by the side of the road, so they just shove him in the cemetery. And this place, as Judd explains, has the power to bring the dead back to life. Lewis buries Church there, and the cat returns, but it is different. It's more aggressive, and with a disturbing demeanour. Its eyes also glow in the dark. And it slashes him in the face, and I must say, this guy's acting is miserable. He just looks so depressed for the entirety of filming. I don't know if something happened beforehand, but he looks really annoyed. So, tragedy then strikes the Creed family again when Gage is killed in a speeding truck on the road. And the family is absolutely devastated, especially Lewis, who is consumed by grief and guilt. And this is the only bit where we get some decent acting by the guy, because he just stood on the road and he just screams, "No!" For like a good few seconds. That was kind of funny though. I laughed at that bit. But no, the bit where the kid actually dies is actually really sad. It's just the bit afterwards that it was kind of funny, like the way that they made him scream. But besides from that, right? I'm not talking about a kid dying anymore. I don't like that in movies. So Lewis then becomes determined to bring his son back. And yeah, meanwhile, at his funeral, Lewis is punched in the face by his in-law because they really don't like him. So, isn't that assault? Like, why doesn't he press charges? The guy just seems like a douche anyway. Who needs him? But yeah, so Judd and Lewis are then sat at Judd's place having a little drink again. They really like drinking with each other. I don't know why. And Judd shares a personal story about the previous attempt to resurrect a human. Timmy Bateman, a soldier who was buried in the ancient burial ground after dying in World War II. He came back to life, but he was basically a zombie, and he was basically the Walking Dead. And it led to the townsfolk, including Judd, burning him alive and his dad in his house. And Judd then warned Lewis that whatever came back is not the same as before. Even though he literally he let his cat do the same thing. Like, are you that dumb? He is old, but like, he's not Joe Biden old yet, I think. But yeah, so he ignores Judd's warnings and he just shoves Gage's body into the ancient burial ground. After digging him up and crying with him for a bit, he would smell by now, I think, but, I digress, he's grieving. And yeah, he's now a malevolent force intent on causing harm. He is no longer that, like, cute kid. Because I've got to say, his acting in this film is really cute. But yeah, the cinematic confrontation happens when Gage returns, he goes into Judd's house, and it turns into Hostel. Like, no joke. It turns into an Eli Roth movie with the amount of gore that happens. Because, Judd's just having a nice little nap, and then he gets back up, he goes inside, and he sees little footprints. Devil spawn footprints. So he goes into his house and he's looking around. He sees the cat. This is why I don't like the cat. I didn't like it in the first place, to be honest. It was a bit moody. But, yeah, so what he does is, he's too busy looking at the bloody cat, rather than, like, looking around at the footprints, that he gets his Achilles tendons slit with a scalpel by Gage, and it is disgusting. Like, that is probably one of the most disgusting bits in the film, but then it gets worse. Because he jumps on him, he slits his mouth, and you can see, like, all his teeth and, like, bone. And then he stabs him. So, yeah. So, poor Judd is now dead. He was the best character in the movie. And, yeah, Gage then returns to lead a series of violent events. So, after killing Judd, he then targets Rachel, who is his mum. So, she actually returned home after taking Ellie to stay with her parents, and little thing you need to know about Rachel, she is bloody horrified all the time of death, because her older sister, who had, like, a spinal thing and wasn't able to, like, move around, she's also really horrifying in this movie. But she's on the thumbnail of this video if you want to know what that character is. And, yeah, so Gage takes the form of her, and then, like, it goes back into reality, and Gage is just wearing a dress, so he's he's mirroring a picture that was in their house, and there's even a cat on the picture, so it works perfectly. But yeah, Gage then kills his mum, and then he somehow hangs her, like, up on top of the attic. And meanwhile, Lewis finally decides to take action, because he was a bit busy snoozing beforehand. So he thinks that the timing of the burial might have been the problem. So after killing his kid, again, he takes Rachel's body to the ancient burial ground, hoping for a different outcome, because he's an idiot. And Rachel returns, but she's clearly not the same. As she approaches Lewis, the film ends on a very ambiguous note, with Rachel picking up a knife, and Lewis's fate left uncertain, but it's pretty obvious he died because you hear screaming. And yeah, that's Pet Sematary. It is pretty cool, but let's get to the actual review section, because, as I said, the film is directed by Mary Lambert, and it is based on Stephen King's 1983 novel, and it begins with the Creed family moving to this house, yada yada yada, and it's really, really good. Like, it is probably one of my favourite bits in the film, because, like, the house is cool, and, like, sure, these parents are idiots, but you think they would be a bit, like, better parents rather than just, like, letting their kids just walk along the road, you know? Maybe. Just maybe. No. But yeah, it's a film that definitely, like, taps into your fears. It explores, like, the devastating consequences of tampering with, like, natural order. And the direction effectively brings out the haunting atmosphere and emotional weight of Stephen King's novel. I would have liked a bit more exploration of, like, the creature in the novel, because I did have read it, and it's bit really disgusting, but, like, one thing that I did do right was Judd's accent, which is heavily, like, done in the novel. Yeah, he sounds like he's from Maine. It's a good job. But yeah, the film's success definitely lies in its ability to evoke a sense of dread and foreboding. Right from the beginning shot, where it's literally like a choir of like kids singing on a shot of Pet Sematary, that was terrifying. And this is actually written by Stephen King, and he's even got a cameo in the movie. He plays the priest at Gage's funeral. So let's go King. And yeah, Lewis Creed's actor, Dale Midkiff, he's not the best actor. I'm just gonna apologies to any fans of him, but he's not the best actor. He just is a bit boring. Like he doesn't really capture any emotion. Like mainly at the bit where Gage dies and the bit where like the film ends is where like you see some emotion from him. But Judd is definitely the film's standout performance. His character serves as the moral compass and voice of caution. Sure, no one bloody listens to him, but they care. And yeah, he even has a line which I love repeating when that Iceland Kill song comes on, and that sometimes dead is better. I really held myself back from screaming it there. But yeah, so it definitely resonates with the film's central themes of like dread, foreboding, and guilt and grief. And Judd's own tragic history with the burial ground adds a layer to his character. It also adds a bit of history that was sadly explored in another movie, which I have to get to at some point. I've got like a week until I need to do that. I'm good. And the film's pacing and structure definitely allows for a gradual build-up of tension, leading to a suspenseful climax and a devastating conclusion. Because we just sort of forgot about the other kid. Like, poor Ellie, I think her name is. Like, she's without any parents. She's without any cat. She's without any brother. All she's got a like grandfather and grandmother who hate her dad and are gonna probably bring her up hating her dad as well now. But yeah, this film is definitely an emotionally charged horror film. It definitely stays true to the dark essence of Stephen King's novel. It's got some kind of mediocre performances, I won't lie, and the script is kind of weird. It does feel like a book rather than a film, but it's because Stephen King wrote it. And it's got some effective direction and a chilling atmosphere that definitely captures the fear of, like, anyone going through this kind of situation. I don't know who has gone through this situation, but if you have, let me know in the comments below, because that's probably it for this video. Have you guys seen Pet Sematary? Let me know in the comments below. If you have seen the movie, though. If you haven't seen the movie, go check it out. It's pretty creepy and really gory near the end. But, yeah, until next time, thank you for watching this video. Bye-bye.